Between the New Trier Trevians green team and the Lake Forest Scouts. The Trevians have 5 players out on suspension this evening, so they will be down a bit on that end of things. And the Lake Forest Scouts, first game back after the holiday, so they've been off the ice for almost 2 weeks now, a little bit more than that. So this might be an interesting game on that account. Referee tonight, Russ Rowell, linesmen Mike Spector and Ray Tucker. We'll get an icing against the Trevians right off the bat, and we'll move down into the New Trier end of things. The goalie tonight for the Trevians is Sarah Teeting, and Andy Martian goal for the Lake Forest Scouts. As we said, we expect this evening to see a number of our former players. I already ran into 2 of them from Lake Forest who said that they would drop by here during the course of the evening. On that far side, Trevians feed it out ahead for Matt Bernier. Bernier ahead for Malmstrom. That missed on the pass. Back goes Kevin Magnuson. Magnuson has it on the near side. Fed it over to the far side and picked up by the Scouts. They'll bring it up. Pass over lead for Harrigan. Brought to the near side. And now into the slot, the Trevians feed it out ahead. All the way down into the Scouts' end of things. Magnuson over to the far side. Wagner, he missed it. Now up ahead for Nick Laritzen. Laritzen into the zone. Laritzen and busted away by John Patience. Patience and Hergen in the corner. Malmstrom came in and Patience picked up the puck, brought it to the near side. The Trevians on the breakout. Underland on the pass. Down goes Matt Bernier, and he'll go off on the line change back behind the goal line. And now here come the Scouts back up the ice. Taken to the far side. Rick Weil tried to flip it ahead. And they push it along there in the corner. Matt Pearsall in on that fray. Pearsall just back from injury. New Trier has yet to have the full complement of players out on the ice. Dumped down into the zone this season. Back behind the goal line. Brian Demas underled the pass, or overled it by a considerable distance, and that'll be icing against Lake Forest, and it is. Icing against the Lake Forest Scouts. And we'll move it down into the Lake Forest end of things. Lake Forest had a pretty good start of the season, and they did excellently in the hat-trick tournament. Made it to the finals and lost in the longest game in Illinois high school history, a 5-overtime affair, to the Glenbrook North Spartans. And Lake Forest, the last game out in the regular season, December 18th, defeated Glenbrook North. Dumped back down into the zone. Mike Laritzen with Rick Seefeld. Seefeld came up with the puck. Marsh is down. Seefeld couldn't feed it into the slot. Malmstrom back behind the goal line. New Trier only has 6 skaters on the bench because of suspensions. Fed through the slot from Marte to the near side. Kicks around, and Dave Harrigan. Harrigan fed it out ahead for his forward in misconnections. Now at the red line. Habler was who it was fed for. Now Heath. Bill Heath with a shot and the save by Marsh. Bouncing puck and the whistle. And Marsh had it clamped down on the ice, but Mike Laritzen went into the goal. I think everybody thought that it was a goal, but it was Mike Laritzen's stick that actually put it in there. That actually went in there, not the puck. Off the boards in the corner. Fed out to the point, and now Graff playing with a high stick. Whistles it down, and we'll bring it back down into the Lake Forest end of things. 11:04 to play here in the first period. No score. Neither team has... New Trier's done a better job of testing Andy Marsh than the Scouts have at this point. But again, it's early. Keller right into the slot. New Trier played in Minnesota during the 2-week break and also played Wednesday. And, of course, with only 6 skaters, they better be warmed up. Had it picked away. Nick Laritzen, the shot to save. Into the slot, bounced around a little bit, over to the near side. And here's Matt Bernier with a little, bringing it up the ice. Bernier stops in the corner. Tried to feed it to the far side. Peter Graff will get there first. And he and Matt Pearsall collided it at the same time. Nick Laritzen dumped into the zone. And then a line change. Scott Smith dumped it in. Make that Ryan Smith. Dumped in by the Scouts on that far corner. Right through the slot. And the Trevians clear it out. Mike Laritzen goes back for it, but it'll be icing against the Trevians. Icing against New Trier. Brings it back down into the New Trier end of things. In front of Sarah Teeting over here on the near side. And the face-off is sent to the far side. Bill Heath dumped it back behind, tried to dump it back behind the goal. Now Rick Weil. Weil clears it out to the point. Held in and then kicked free out to center ice. Scouts backhand it back in. Wrap around attempt and now picked up on that far side. Now Peter Marte. Marte brings it around to the near side. And they play a little game of shinny on that near side boards. Over to the far side, and Weil backhands it out. They'll wash off the icing. They said Demas could have had it. In the corner, Marte got bumped. Weil got a little entangled with the referee, Russ Rao. We got a penalty coming up on New Trier for interference. I missed the signal through the traffic. Yes, interference. Peter Marte, a minor for interference. Time of the penalty, 9-10. Glad to have you with us tonight. Like everybody else, I've had that cold that's been going around, the one that sort of hangs on for a couple of weeks. And we lose the puck and gain a face-off right away. This is certainly the important game in state. We can tell that. We've got a Tribune reporter here tonight. We've got the Pioneer Press here tonight, regular Pioneer Press people. And then we also have, of course, myself here. Here's a shot. That boomed wide over to the far side. David Harrigan. Harrigan and Heath collide out to the point. Wagner back out to Wagner at the point. Wagner fed it over to Harrigan. Harrigan doesn't know what to do with it. Can't get it through Bernier. He takes it to the high slot. Now drops it off to Magnuson. Magnuson shoveled it right through to the corner. Centering pass was busted up and cleared by Bernier. Marsh feeds it to the near side. Wagner. Wagner drops it back to Kevin Magnuson on the far side. Kevin Magnuson straight up the ice. Magnuson into the zone. Kevin Magnuson as the defenseman in deep into the zone. Magnuson fed it back out to the winger. Was out at point. Shot, a goal! Dave Harrigan on the tip in. Dave Harrigan on the tip-in. And it's 1-0 Lake Forest. The draw back to the blue line, now picked up by Graff. Graff dumps it into the zone. John Patience takes it to the corner. They battle along in the corner there. No freezing of it back there, so now John Patience brings it over to the far side. Cleared out ahead, and Graff intercepted the pass. Right into the slot. Backhand shot, the save. Dribbles away from Sarah Teeting. Peter Graff had it back there, now over to the far side. And the Trevians having trouble on the breakout. Held in the zone by Demas. Dumped in deep again. Pearsall brings it to the near side. And they push it. In there. Little game of shinny. Trevians with the breakout. The big cranker. And that booms wide. Peter Marte got it away. Seefeld. Pop free and cleared. That's going to be icing against Lake Forest. And it is. Icing against the Scouts. The draw goes to the far side. Malmstrom tried to push it free. Now picked up briefly by Keller. Weil. And Bernier back to the point. Heath. I think that was actually a pass intended for Bernier that busted down. Now David Harrigan. Harrigan tried to find the man on the far side, and that missed. Habler. Now here come the Trevians back the other way. Mike Keller. Keller into the zone. Keller shot, save, and held on by Marsh. And now some pushing and shoving afterwards. And we have a little extracurricular activity going on. And Russ Rao is going to let it go this time. .6:27 to play here in the period. 1-0 in favor of the Lake Forest Scouts on the goal by Dave Harrigan. And the face-off is controlled by the Scouts. Right into Mike Laritzen, who just backhands it out of the zone. They'll wash off the icing. Back goes Heath. Bill Heath. Down he went. Trevian's on the breakout. Didn't get it out of the zone. Now they did, all the way down into the Scouts end of things. Weil and Demas. Heavy check in the corner on Weil by Demas. Near side out to the point here. Heath with the cranker. Ricocheted and grabbed and held on by Marsh. And now Laritzen and Weil. And now we're going to have some penalties coming up. This time we'll get some penalties. Coincidental roughs, I would think. They'll let the first Laritzen minor go. They won't let the Demas minor. Coincidental minors for roughing on Weil and Demas at 5:54 of the period. The first time they went down the ice and they had that extracurricular, that was a freebie. And the second time they were not going to let it go and call the coincidental roughs. And we'll add a second rough on Laritzen. So Laritzen will get the extra roughing. Nick Laritzen gets the minor for roughing. Weil and Demas also minors for roughing. So the Scouts will be shorthanded here. They'll put that line they've been thinking of putting out there, Maelstrom, Bernier, and Keller. They tried a line with the Cherubini, and it clicked for only one of the games in the hat-trick tournament. Worked very well in the friend game, but since then it had not clicked. There's a shot that boomed wide. Bernier and Keller. Now picked up by Magnuson. There's a quick shot by Maelstrom, grabbed and held on by Andy Marsh. For some reason, even teams that go away, play all during the break, they come back out after the break and they're very slow and things just aren't clicking. Lake Forest has really been kind of a surprise this year, come on very strong in the season. Out to the point, John Patience. There's the cranker. Marsh pulls it out of the air and holds on. New Trier was expected to do well all season long, and they have not done as well as one could have expected. On the other hand, Lake Forest has done better than most people anticipated, except myself. I expected them to be in the pack, and certainly in the Metro North, the pack is very, very tight. John Patience booms it wide and cleared out to center ice. Patience has it there. Patience gave it up to Bernier. Matt Bernier into the zone. Bernier tried to find the man on the far side. Lauritzen now cleared out of there by Kevin Magnuson, the length of the ice. Scouts are penalty killing for another minute. Fed ahead for Bernier. Nice pass. There's the boomer and the save by Marsh. Over to the far side. And now Lauritzen and Bernier have a little to do after the play. John Patience, the defenseman, deep in the corner. Now Maelstrom. Nobody for the Trevians out in front in the slot. Now picked up tight. Marte, he's bothered by Mike Lauritzen. Marte takes it to back behind the goal. Marte and Lauritzen muscle each other to the boards. Hand pass. They'll whistle it. They won't whistle it down. There's a quick shot, and that boomed wide by Peter Marte. Heath tries to keep it in the zone. Now Marte will go back to the point. Heath got there first for the Trevians. Dumped it in deep. Bernier let it go by. Picked up by Lauritzen. He fanned on the puck the first time, and now they'll try and kick it along. Pop free. Matt Bernier. Bernier out to Heath, and Heath couldn't keep it in the zone at the near point. All the way down into the Trevians' end. They'll have to set up the breakout back there. Taking it to the near side, and the Trevians on the breakout. Up ahead, Rick Seefeld got it in deep. Magnuson tried to backhand it out of the zone. Now there's a quick shot save. Puck's free, brings it over to the near side, and Kevin Magnuson tied up Maelstrom. Right into the slot again. Attempted the backhand by Maelstrom, and that misconnection. And now a little game of shinny right there in the slot. And they cleared out to the point, held in the zone. There's the shot, the save, taken to the far side. Teams are back to copacetic. Nick Lauritzen. Trevians pressuring. Back behind the goal. Looking to center, out to the high slot. Heath over to the far side. There's the shot, pulled out of the air by Marsh, with Seefeld right there on top of him. And again, a little pushing and shoving action over here on the near side. You are watching high school hockey on the Metro Chicago Sports Network. Glad to have you with us tonight. All the way down our network. The Lake Forest contingent of fans, slow to arrive, but have now arrived in some numbers. .252 to play. There's a backhand shot, the save by Marsh, and held on. The face-off out to Matt Bernier. Bernier cranks, and the save through traffic, and held on by Marsh. Well, Bernier let loose a pretty nice shot from out here, and a nice save by Andy Marsh through the traffic. The draw brought to the corner. Weil out to the point. Bernier holds it in. Weil right through the slot out to the high slot. There's Pearsall with the shot and the save. Bernier at the high slot. He cranks it. The save by Marsh, and held on. Diving for it. He grabs it and holds on. And we'll have the face-off on that far side. The drop and the draw is brought right in front. Marte intercepted the pass, couldn't get the shot away. Weil back behind the net over to the far side. Keller avoided the check from Demas, and now Marte pushes Demas down. Trevians keep it in the zone. There's the quick shot, the save by Marsh, held on. Boy, Marsh is being well tested through the middle part of this first period. The face-off is on the near side. It turns out to be a shot on goal. Not Wagner, but nonetheless, that'll be icing against the Scouts. Yeah, it was Wagner who dumped it out of there. And icing against the Scouts. And again, the draw. Heath with it. We'll find the Trevians playing all sorts of different positions. Oh, just shot out high and wide. Near side. Held in by Mike Keller. David Harrigan gave it back to Kevin Magnuson. Out to the point, and Patience couldn't keep it in the zone. They'll bring it all the way down. That will not be icing. Kirby and Patience collide in the corner. Harrigan trying to pop it free. Marte in on the fray, and the Trevians come up with the puck. Up the ice for Keller. Keller backhands it into the zone. No one was breaking. Heath, Patience. Now Malmstrom trying to strong arm his way in. Keller avoids the check. Marte takes it to the far side with Smith and Magnuson over there. And Keller and Magnuson pushing and shoving it along. Bring it to the near side. Harrigan out to the point, held in by Malmstrom. Malmstrom sent it to the corner. Back around behind the net. Picked up by Kevin Magnuson. Magnuson out. Harrigan. And the standing breakout of the Scouts out to center ice. John Patience has it at the red line. Patience in the zone. Picked up. Here's Seefeld with the shot. The save, as it was a little wide anyway. 22 seconds is all that's left here in the period. To be exact, 22.7 seconds left to play here in the period. And we'll have a face-off on the near side, picked up by Seefeld. Seefeld booms it wide to the far side. Heath wraps it around behind the goal line, picked up by Mike Laritzen to the far side. Peter Graff out to the point. There's Seefeld with a big blaster, ran into a leg, near side. Smith fed it out to center ice. Right back in by the Trevians as the horn sounds into the period. At the end of the first period of play here on the Metro Chicago Sports Network, the score is the Lake Forest Scouts 1 and the New Druid Trevians Green Team nothing. This is the Metro Chicago Sports Network. We'll be back with the second period in just a moment. Second period of tonight's action. And we have some color commentating to do here. Let me give you the mic. There you go. Ezio Berrettini and Keith Crispo, former players for the Lake Forest Scouts, here tonight. Add a little color that things may be. How's it going? Pretty good. Oh, right in the slot. Cleared free by Seefeld over to the far side. Now here's Seefeld again. Missed the pass. Back into the Scouts' end. Seefeld with a quick shot. Grabbed and held on by Marsh. Marsh has really had to come up with some big saves here. The Trevians have been really pestering him. Ezio, you're as brilliant and articulate as ever. Yeah. So you're at Lake Forest College, huh? You're still in the college?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Got the grades up this semester. Doing well. Hockey's pretty much finished with. I'm going to give it a try next year. But outside of that.
Well, you know, the important thing is always school. School comes first, you know?
Yeah.
Here come the Scouts out of the zone. Dumped in by Smith, far side. Bernier. Matt Bernier, he got bumped on the side. Cleared out ahead, Maelstrom. Trevians on the breakout again, Maelstrom. Into the zone, Maelstrom backhand shot, and they saved by Marsh. Keith, well,
how you doing?
Pretty good. You're over at Iowa, right?
Yeah, I'm at University of Iowa right now.
Yeah, what? Yeah, let's see. You guys are both juniors now.
Yeah, I'm a sophomore.
Oh, that's right, because you went to PG Prep School one year.
Right. Yeah, I'm a junior this year.
And you're in broadcasting?
Yeah, I'm in communications now. As a business minor. I'm playing the field out there right now. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Haven't been much hockey though.
Well, there isn't a lot of hockey in Iowa. Big basketball country though.
Yeah.
Here come the Scouts out. Kirby blindside pass misconnections, dumped back in by Keller. Back around behind the goal, brought over here to the near side. And the Scouts having trouble again on the breakout. Held in by Pearsall. Keller and cleared out to center ice. Back to the Trevians end. Matt Bernier has it there. Bernier ahead for Pollock. Landon Pollock intercepted the pass. Couldn't get into the zone. Bernier will come up with it. Near side, Keller. And Bernier over to the far side. And John Patience back into the Scouts end. And Mike Loritzen sent an errant pass that was picked up by Maelstrom. No damage done. Puck cleared out to center ice. Heath dumps it back into the zone. Marsh let it go by. Picked up by Magnuson, or by Loritzen rather, near side, and Heath. Loritzen with the dish out pass. Harrigan trying to find Graff, and Graff couldn't come up with the puck. The pass intended by Keller for Bernier misconnections. Bernier flips it out to the point. Wagner with a big cranker, and the pad saved by Sarah Teeting near side. Marte, Graff, Matt Bernier, and cleared out to center ice. Ran off the linesman, I think, or maybe Magnuson knocked it down. Back behind the goal line, picked up by Heath. Well, guys, how does this game compare to your days? A little different watching it up here, though, I'm sure.
It's strange watching out here. I like it, guys. I don't know, it's good to get back out and watch this stuff.
It seems a lot. I don't remember it being this fast. I remember I think we were a bit more physical, but
yeah, your team was a lot more physical with Scott and with Chris Jasper. Yeah, that was a hard-hitting physical team that you guys had.
But this seems pretty quick. I didn't expect it to be this fast.
Yeah, this new True team's got some real nice speed on it.
As well as the Scouts.
Yeah. Well, yes, Nick Loritzen and some of the Scouts players too. You know what's interesting too is that a lot of this talent is younger talent. They're not the senior class per se. The little brothers, yeah. Matt Bryant dumps it into the zone. While
a lot of little brothers like little baby and well, there's 2 people left from our team, Hergen and Herbie. It's the only 2 guys I know left from the team that I played with. It's weird watching them out there still. They look a little smaller.
Well, Nick Laritzen's only a sophomore.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of young guys down there.
Right through the slot over to the far side. Here's Bernier just on from the line change. Lewin rather, into the zone, and that's offside against the Trevians. The more things change, the more things remain the same. I'm still around, you know. At 21 years and I'm still doing this, you know.
Yeah. It's fun though. It's gotta be fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. It is fun, Keith. Here's the face-off, back to Bernier. He flips it into the zone. Mike Laritzen fed it to the near side. Habler back to Laritzen. Mike Laritzen to the far side. Dave Hergen. What?
I said I think Scott's over there.
I don't see him, but that's okay. If you see him, bring him back. Bring him over here. Weil. Brought to the near side. He told me he was going to stop by, but I don't believe him.
Yeah. Isn't that him over there?
Yeah, the scouts, Harrigan dumps it into the zone. Harrigan brings it into the zone. Now Marte with it. Peter Marte.
There you go,
Chris Kirby. Bernier, Lewin, Marte, Demas, and Lewin with a little race on. And I think that was no, it's Laritzen that got there first, and a whistle. And it's an offside. What?
What a digger that Kirby is. That kid's not scared of anyone.
He's small though. Is it?
Yeah, he's not scared. He's getting the job done. You see him over here? Right? Knocking a couple guys down. I'm impressed.
.8:38 to play here in the second period. 1-0. The draw. Is brought in. The scouts on the breakout. Here's Nick Laritzen. Laritzen with the shot and just a little wide right into the slot off the defenseman John Patient's stick, and Sarah Teeting grabs it and holds on. You know, Shauna Weidmiller, she came up. She was the first girl to come through, and now we have a goalie playing on neutral green.
Wow,
it's a girl. Yeah.
She's doing well.
Yeah. She was.
Sounds sexist, but I mean, she's.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, how times have changed. You know, that Shauna paved the way for girls to come in and play, and now we have quite a few. Actually, we have about 4 or 5 girls right now. Now picked up by John Patience, all the way down into the zone. On the near side, now Maelstrom tried to get the shot away, couldn't get it through the traffic. Near side, the scouts on the breakout. Up ahead for Matt Bryant, missed the pass. Pearsall. Matt Pearsall sends it to the far side. Mike Keller. Keller ahead out to center ice, and Magnuson got bumped by Lewin, I believe. And a little game of shinny on that far side. Now Keller right through the slot. Bernier and Marsh have a little pushing and shoving going on. And nothing called on the nonsense back in the slot. Fed ahead for Bernier. Back down into the zone. Josh Wagner. And he clears it the length of the ice. That will not be icing. Turns out to be a long shot on goal. Sarah sends it to the near side. Sarah Teeting, near side. Trevians on the breakout. The pass was broken up by Hergen at center ice. Here's the scouts. Matt Bryant dumps it back in. Shot on goal. Grabbed and held on by Sarah Teeting. And again, some pushing and shoving. Slides by. Sliding by. 6:47 to play here in the second period. An entirely different world sitting in the stands. You know what happens? Guys like you end up coming back to coach.
Yeah, I'd love to coach someday, but I don't know.
Either that or ref.
Yeah, no, I don't like to be a ref. I've been watching these guys here, and they're not really with the game so far. They missed a couple big plays down there on the scout zone. I don't know. I don't think I can handle being a ref. Too much pressure on me. Fans, the parents here.
This referee on that far side, the linesman just dropping the puck, was an old defenseman from my early days of hockey. Yeah, Mike Spector. Yeah, he played on Niles North when they had a team. Back in the zone, there's the shot, ran into traffic. Out to the high slot, Weil kept it in the zone, shot to save. The rebound is grabbed by Marsh and then flipped wide. He had it briefly, and then it deflected wide and behind the goal. Here's Chris Kirby. Kirby with the cranker, the save by Sarah up on the shoulder. Kirby and Heath now picked up by the Trevians. They'll bust it out of the zone. Near side for Seafelt, ran into traffic. Demas brought it to the near side. And the scouts control on their own defensive end. You know, the one thing that we still have in high school hockey is the standing breakout. Everybody stands and waits for the puck to come to them instead of working, sliding through and working plays. John Patience, near side, Malmstrom. Out to the point. And picked up by the scouts. They'll bring it out the other way. Matt Bryant had it flipped off his stick. Bryant dumps it in with Ryan Vahey, the forechecker. Heath to the near side. Brian Lewin. Lewin ahead for Rob Malmstrom. Malmstrom to the high slot and then took a weak shot to dump it into the zone. And scouts cleared ahead. Busted up, brought back down into the zone. Back behind the goal, Wagner. To the near side. Marte and now Bernier dumps it in. Weil and Bernier and dumped in for the icing against the Scouts with 4:48 to play in the period. Well, how's the family doing? What's you got some good news, huh? Your sister's.
Yeah, she's getting married.
Yeah.
Let's get married in May. Outside of that, everything at home is going well.
Everything's going well at school now?
Yeah, school's going great, except for hockey. That's about it.
The real world, you know. It's a little different playing in Illinois high school hockey, you know, where you play, you practice 2 times a week or once a week, and you're on the ice for 2 games a week. And you get to college when you got the long bus rides and the games and the 3-4 hours a week 3-4 hours a day of practices. It's a little different world.
I'd love to do it. You know.
I'm not saying you wouldn't. I'm just saying it's a different. There's a different sort of commitment that you get in college. Here's the Scouts out to center ice. Now here's Matt Bernier. Bernier to the far side. John Patience. Patience into the zone. Shot ran into Magnuson's stick. Near side. John Patience. Sends it to the far side. Malmstrom. And picked up by Hergen. 2-on-1 to Kirby right in front. Shot it wide. I take that back. That wasn't Hergen. That was Rob Davis that fed that on the break. Now here is Bernier. Bernier right into the slot. And now brought on to the near side. And the Scouts again on the breakout. They flip it down into the zone back behind the goal. Matt Bernier clears it out to center ice and all the way down. And they washed off the icing. Somebody must have touched it or could have touched it. Right into the slot and cleared out of there by the scouts. Bryant to Graff, and Graff dumps it in or out of the rink.
See that guy?
Got one of the assistants over there. Is that one of the players? One of the players. I guess it's not playing. Right in the old elbow. 3:06 to play in the period. Bouncing puck now brought into the zone. There's the shot, the save on the backhand.
We're going to go find a spot down in the corner.
You're going to go hide in the corner. Are you going to leave me to do this a cappella some more? Okay.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, take care, Keith. Ezio Berrettini and Keith Crispo, two former players with the Lake Forest Scouts, came by to say hello. Out into the slot, there's the shot, ran into traffic from Matt Pearsall. Seafelt tried to get it away, near side. They'll battle along there. And the whistle, as is held by Andy Marsh.
Come on, let's go.
2:45 to play in the second period. And the face-off goes right through the slot far side. Wolf, Steve Wolf, back for Seafelt. Seafelt, near side, and now back over on the far side, and Wolf. Bouncing puck. Kirby fed it ahead for Harrigan, and the Scouts busted out. Near side, Graff, he's muscled off the puck. Now to the far side and held in the zone by Lauritzen. Now Seafelt at the red line got hit by Mike Lauritzen. Kevin Magnuson to far side Harrigan. Pearsall. In comes Chris Kirby. A little shot, a goal! Chris Kirby puts it home. And it's 2-0, Lake Forest. Goal by Chris Kirby. He split the defense and in and scores. Kevin Magnuson to the near side. Josh Wagner. Wagner up ahead for Nick Lauritzen. The long shot and the save. To the near side, Bryant and Bernier. Davis, Patience, Marte. And right back down into the zone. Matt Bernier got it out to center ice. Mike Keller. Peter Marte. John Patience. Patience flips it into the zone. Picked up by Josh Wagner back behind the goal. Centered out to the high slot. There's the shot, ran right into the Scouts, who busted it up. And they've got a 3-on-2 working into the zone and picked up by John Patience. Patience had his pocket picked by Bryant. Center ice. Marte. Kevin Magnuson. And the long shot, the save by Sarah Teeting, with a few seconds here left to play in the period. Wagner. Mike Lauritzen. Up ahead for Chris Kirby. Into the zone. Harrigan. Back behind the goal. to the side of the net and held on by Sarah Teeting. .28 seconds left to play here in the period. 2-0 in favor of the Scouts. You are watching high school hockey on the Metro Chicago Sports Network. First time these two teams met, the Trevians came out a 5-3 winner. The draw, Heath, Malmstrom, out to center ice. Wagner to the far side. Mike Loritzen dumped it in, now back out to Wagner. Back into the Trevians end, Heath. Back out ahead for Malmstrom. In comes Marte. Marte tries to center it, does so into the slot. Little game of shinny out there. And the horn sounds into the period. At the end of the second period of play here on the Metro Chicago Sports Network, the score is the Lake Forest Scouts 2 and the New Church Trevians nothing. This is the Metro Chicago Sports Network. We'll be back with the third period in just a moment. And we are underway with the third period of tonight's action between the Scouts and the Trevians. Dumped into the zone. Dumped back in by Magnuson, cleared out and all the way down, and that will be icing, and it is icing against the Lake Forest Scouts. I found out why one of my color commentators couldn't make it in tonight. Said he was going to be here, and turned out that he couldn't. Scott Dean from Lake Forest, he is ill tonight, so actually something of a free spirit. Face off, goes to the corner. Pearsall back behind the net. Brought it over here to the near side. And cleared out the center ice. Weil to Marte, back to Weil. Bryant, and cleared. The pair of 29s go to the corner and tie each other up. And really tie each other up down there. Pearsall and Kirby. Backdoor shot and the save. Graff got it away. The save by Sarah Teeting. The face-off. Up ahead, and Keller, he touched it, but he couldn't control it. Near side, and Keller now centers it. Malmstrom out to the high slot. Bernier with the blaster, and that booms wide. To the corner. Back behind the goal, Mike Loritzen. Keller now picked up a little backhand shot by Malmstrom. Now Bernier with the shot, the dying quail, and Marsh grabs it and holds on. Way to go, Andy. .12:36 to play here in the period. You are watching high school hockey on the Metro Chicago Sports Network. Bernier tries to keep it in the zone. They bounce it along. Keller got it caught up in his skates a little bit. Back goes Wolf. Near side, John Patience. Patience back into the zone. There's the shot, the save. Taken to the corner. John Patience. Patience pops it free right into the slot. Keller bouncing puck. Now there's the shot by Wolf, and that booms wide. Keller right into the slot, popped free. Back come the Scouts. In the zone, And now the Trevians out ahead. Maelstrom, that missed with the pass. Wagner. And now Weil for the Trevians. Picks it up in the corner, right into the slot. Shot, save! Maelstrom got it away, and the save by Marsh from the slot. They draw Weil back out to the point over the near side. Pearsall, the boomer, the save with the glove hand. Trevian still control right through the slot, brought to the near side. Two Trevian players were there. Weil, he got bumped off by Harrigan. Now the Trevians in the slot, backhand shot, ran into traffic. There's a quick little shot, shot it off the post. And they play a little game of shinny in the slot. Held in the traffic off Lewin. Now here's Harrigan with a breakaway. Dave Harrigan. Harrigan in, shot, and the save by Teeting. And now the whistle and the stoppage of play as Teeting holds on. A little backhander by Harrigan on the breakaway, and the save by Sarah Teeting. .57 to play here in the period. A snappy hockey game. And the face-off on the far side, controlled by the Trevians. Bring it over here to the near side. Mike Laritzen flips it out. Nearly got our cameraman over here, Mike Bolton, on the camera tonight. Looks like it got the coffee cup down in front of him, but in any case, well, let's put it this way. In my 10,000 games, Mike, I've only been hit twice. So you're pretty lucky. Your chances of getting hit are pretty slim. Back behind the goal. And the puck is frozen there. We'll move it outside the zone. It was the scouts that did the freezing. The face-off coming up on the far side. One thing about the Trevians is that their attack is pretty balanced. Numbers-wise, it's pretty evenly spread out among that team, as compared to, for instance, Glenbrook North, which really has had one line. John Patience kept it in. Patience in, shot, a goal! John Patience puts it home. And it's 2-1. Well, the Trevians have been peppering all night. They finally have dented the net against Andy Marsh. And it's 2-1. A draw. John Patience in the corner. They push it along, now picked up by Marte. Marte ahead to Bernier. Bernier to the far side, Maelstrom. To Bernier, out for Marte. Marte thought better of putting it at the point with Dave Harrigan. Chris Kirby, hand pass out to Heath. There's the shot, a goal! We're tied at 2. Bill Heath Heath puts it home, and we're tied at 2. We're tied at 2. Offside at the faceoff. This year, the misconduct penalties have gotten way out of hand in the league. The Glenbrook North Spartans have 16 misconduct penalties so far this year, as compared to last year when they had 3 at this time. Back down to Heath. And for the first time in 10 years, we had multiple game misconducts in a game between Glenbrook South and Stevenson this past week, and now some pushing and shoving here. Russ Rao right there watching it, and again will not call anything. To give you an idea of the difference, Lake Forest is the least penalized team in the league. They have been averaging about 7 minutes in penalties per game, as compared to the Glenbrook North Spartans, the most penalized team, has averaged 25 minutes in penalties per game. Heath to the far side, out to the point. There's the shot, and that's just varsity. We're not counting in that any of the JV stats. Near side, here's Bernier into the zone. Neutrer is also down there with about 8 minutes in penalties per game. Flip down into the zone. So these two teams have kept their temper. Now here's Marte. Marte with the cranker, and that boomed way high and wide. To the far side, Heath out to the point. Mike Laritzen wraps it around to the near side. Dave Habler. Matt Pearsall. Nick Laritzen. Habler. Marte. Cleared out to the point. Marte tried to keep it in the zone. Instead, it came out, and now Marte backhands it in again. Mike Laritzen has it there. To the near side, Dave Habler. Habler ahead for Marte, who intercepted the pass and cleared out to the point. Laritzen kicks it out of the zone. Now picked up. Here's Habler, all by his lonesome. Habler will go to the corner with Marte. Marte came up with the puck. Marte clears it out to center ice, split the defense all the way down. That'll be icing against New Trier, and it is with 8 minutes exactly to play here in the period.
Come on, Scout, let's go!
8 minutes to play in the period, 2-2 tie. Flip down into the zone, that's Patience. Near side, and now a little game of ricochet. Trevians break it out. Out ahead, here's Weil. Weil with the cranker, the save by Andy Marsh. Drops it off for Laritzen, near side, now Seafelt. Seafelt takes the shot, ran into Kirby's stick before it got very far. Patience and Smith on the far side. Now give and go right back in. Turnaround shot attempt, and that nothing doing for Rick Seafelt. Over to the far side now. Smith has it again. Smith tried to clear it and did clear it out to center ice. They'll wash off the icing. It'll turn out to be a shot on goal. No, somebody could have gotten there first, I guess. Patience far side. Smith. There's a shot to save. The rebound just a little wide. And cleared the length of the ice. There's Wolf on his offhand. Drop past it for Weil. Weil. Down he goes. Here's David Hergen. Hergen with Bryant. Hergen on his off wing. Tried to feed it to the back door. Shot a goal! Mike Loritzen on the back door puts it home. And it's 3-2. Mike Loritzen puts it through on the back door. Harrigan with the pass from the off wing. His off wing, and the Scouts have regained the lead here, 3-2. The draw is back to Bernier. Near side. Now here come the Trevians out again. Marte with the long shot. The save. Wolf. Wagner. Marte. Bouncing puck up to the side of the goal. And the defenseman trying to knock the puck down nearly knocked it into the goal. It would not have counted, by the way, just out of information. That still would not have been a goal because it would have been knocked in with a hand. It has to be knocked in with a stick. It's the only way the puck can go in now. Used to be that defenseman flopping it in, everything else that would count. Now it's only a stick deflected off a skate or something like that. Here come the Scouts out, and Trevian strong-armed it away. Near side, Vahey dumped it in the zone and then got bumped by Bernier. Here's Marte, the big boomer. They save by Marsh, and with Marte in on him, they grab and hold on, and now some pushing and shoving again. Marte and Magnuson, Kevin Magnuson having a couple of words. 3-2 to score. And the face-off coming up right down here in front of us. The draw, the shot, the save. Near side and now centered. Pop free. Lewin. Nick Loritzen. Magnuson. Or Mike Loritzen, rather. Harrigan. And they dig it along the boards there. Dave Harrigan controls. Harrigan to Mike Loritzen. Over to Kevin Magnuson. Out ahead, Matt Bryant. Now Nick Loritzen. Nick Loritzen into the zone and then got bumped. Near side corner. Matt Bryant right through the slot. Trevians take it up on the other side. Marte brings it in. Turns out to be a shot on goal. Mike Loritzen. Oh, did Bryant get labeled? And we'll get a penalty on Malmstrom for charging. Rob Malmstrom, a minor for charging at 5:08 of the period, as he really labeled Matt Bryant. There's a number 12 somewhere over there imprinted on the ice, I would suspect, with that hit. 5:08 to play in a period. He'll sit in the sin bin for 2. A minor for charging on Rob Malmstrom.
Let's go, Scouts!
The Trevians, as we mentioned earlier, due to suspensions, only have 6 skaters available on the bench. So they have been line changing quite frequently here. Heath dumps it into the zone. Magnuson to Chris Kirby. Back over to Kevin Magnuson. Ahead for Harrigan. Give and go back to Harrigan. Harrigan into the zone. Brought to the near side. And the Trevians clear it out to center ice. Magnuson at his own blue line. Kevin Magnuson rags it along. Fed it ahead. Back down into the zone. Nick Loritzen. Heath. Back behind the goal line. Trevians. Heath. There's a quick shot. That was wide by Nick Loritzen, near side. Scouts with the man advantage. trying to work the power play. Magnuson, the long shot. Deflection attempt by Nick Lauritzen. And Sarah Teeting tied up. And the whistle stops the play with the net dislodged. Nick Lauritzen was in on top of the goalie, the neutral goalie, Sarah Teeting. And in the process of that little scrum over there, they dislodged the net. 4:11 to play here in the third period. 3-2. Beverly Lake Forest Scouts over the New Church Trevian's green team. The face-off. Coming up on that far side, the draw is controlled by Heath. Heath, near side. Trevian's try for the breakout for Bernier. Heath. Marte bumped the man, then dumps the puck into the zone. Kevin Magnuson back behind the goal line. Kevin Magnuson sets it up. Kevin Magnuson fed it ahead for Bryant. Heath. Back to Marte. Now Wagner dumps it in to lay offside. Hergen was in ahead of the play. John Patience clears the zone. Bernier in on Marsh. Now there's Magnuson. Magnuson. Back to Wagner. There's the shot. A goal! Wagner with the shot from the point. We'll see if it was deflected. And an unsportsmanlike conduct coming in on top of that on Matt Bernier. But the unsportsmanlike conduct on Matt Bernier after the goal, and the goal makes it 4-2. And now Matt Bernier gets a misconduct on top of it. And Dave Cromer, the coach for New Trier, is quite hot at Russ Rao, the referee. 4-2 the score, and we'll have to wait and see what the additional penalty thrown in here. But I would say that was a unsportsmanlike conduct on Bernier and an additional game misconduct. And meanwhile, Dave Cromer is quite hot. The penalty over. Now they'll see if they have to add another 2 minutes in there. We'll see what we got as far as putting another 2 minute up there on Matt Bernier. And we'll question it here. There's 10 seconds still left up on the clock from the first penalty that ended on the goal. And then here the additional misconduct throws it. 3:18 to play here in the period. 4-2 the score. And we will straighten it out a little bit. Yes, a 2 minute minor goes up. The 10 seconds goes off the clock. You'll need somebody to serve the 2 minute minor for the unsportsmanlike that was caused first. And now apparently Dave Cromer has also received a penalty. So Kurt Wittenberg, the assistant coach, will take over. 2 players to sit? Yes. Okay, so there was a minor. Here's what we've got, I think. We've got a minor on Bernier for unsportsmanlike conduct, a bench minor on the coach, a game misconduct on the coach, and a game misconduct on Matt Bernier. That's what I think all the penalties were. 3:18 of the period. And now New Trier will take their timeout. Let me repeat that again. Here's what we've got, I think, based on what I've seen happen on the bench. A minor to Matt Bernier for unsportsmanlike conduct, a bench minor on the Lake Forest coach, a game misconduct to the Lake Forest the New Trier coach, a game misconduct to the New Trier coach, and a game misconduct to Matt Bernier. That could be a regular misconduct on Bernier. That is possible. He sent him off the ice at 3:18 of the third period. It's hard to tell. Well, seeing how I goofed that up, I better say that a third time. I'll say that a third time. A unsportsmanlike to Matt Bernier. That was the first penalty that was called. Then a misconduct or a game misconduct to Matt Bernier. A bench minor on Dave Cromer, the New Trier coach, and a game misconduct to the New Trier coach. So he will join his friends, the rest of his team, off the bench there. He's got 5 skaters standing there somewhere off the bench. Oh, there they are over on the near side. 3:18 to play in the third period, 4-2 the score. The Trevians will be down 2 men with the double minors, unsportsmanlike and a bench minor. Near side, here's Wagner, sent to the far side. Harrigan out to Magnuson, bouncing puck into the slot. There's Kirby with the shot, high and wide. Harrigan back behind the goal, right into the slot. Backhand shot, save, rebound, and a goal! Chris Kirby. And it's 5-2. One of the minors comes off. The Scouts will still have a man advantage. And the face-off coming up at center ice. The draw. Lauritzen back to Magnuson. To the far side. Nick Lauritzen back into the zone. Patience. And we lose the puck out of the rink. And here I was talking before about how well behaved these two teams were. Yeah, gosh only knows, you know, that's the way the season goes sometimes. Like I said, you know, you talk about how well behaved these two teams are, and then you have a little temper tantrum, and things get a little rowdy and out of hand, and out to the point. Magnuson with the shot. And Magnuson with another attempt, brings it over to the near side for Wagner. Deep to the corner. Pearsall wraps it out to the point and cleared out the center ice. Malmstrom and Wagner had a little rush on, and Wagner won the draw. Magnuson ahead for Nick Lauritzen. Nick Lauritzen tried to turn it over. Nick Lauritzen to the high slot, now brought to the near side. Kevin Magnuson, and he lofts it out of the rink.
Goes down.
.205 to play here in the third period. You are watching high school hockey on the Metro Chicago Sports Network. A cold night in the coldest rink in the league. Isn't that always the way? When it's a cold night, you get the coldest rink in the league to televise a game from. Marte clears it out and all the way down. Turned out to get shot on goal. Marsh directs it to the near side. Lauritzen over to the far side. Wagner. Seefeld flips it back down into the zone. Mike Lauritzen. Now offside grab. Offside. Pearsall bumped him, and Graff a little upset with that. 1:41 to play in the period. .141 to play in the period. 5-2 the score. Into the zone. Now here's Kirby. There's the shot and the save by Sarah Teeting. Just a few seconds left on the minor and a minute and a half to play here in the period. And now popped free by Seefeld all the way down, and the penalty is over. I don't know why they got an extra minor thrown up there too, but somehow they managed that one, and that will be icing. With a minute 8 to play here in the third period. 5-2 now, Lake Forest Scouts. Well, everything was going along well here. The Trevians got back into this one 2-2, and then I think the lack of numbers on the bench did them in. That combined with a little ice discipline, I'm not saying. There's a shot by Patience, and that boomed wide. I'm not saying that as a out of control sense. I'm saying that in being in position to take pucks, and they have certainly been well testing Andy Marsh tonight. Less than a minute to play in the game. Magnuson. Flipped up ahead, John Patience. Mike Keller. Ryan Vahey, and he got pushed away by the Trevians, and Patience came up with the puck and got it to the red line. Now Keller to Patience. Patience shot, and the pad save, the blocker save by Marsh, and now some pushing and shoving going on. And again, some pushing and shoving. Nothing called. 19 seconds left to play in the period. 5-2 the score. As the couple of these pushing and shoving matches have been let go tonight. Not that I think I would have called anything in that situation, but nonetheless, Russ Rao anxious to watch that. Patience got a hold of a player and labeled him down on the ice. And meanwhile, Kevin Magnuson got out to center ice. Now Magnuson and Heath tie each other up, and that'll do it for the game in the corner. And the horn sounds, ending the period and the game. Final score is the Lake Forest Scouts 5 and the New Trier Trevian